Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the real United States. Welcome to Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Now, across America, there are a number of places that have these amusing double entendre sort of names. And probably the best known in America is Intercourse. Now, this is actually an unincorporated area. It's not an incorporated town as such. In the middle of rural Pennsylvania, of about 1,250 people as of the last census count. And it is largely an agrarian or agricultural area, and we are in the heart of Amish country. Now, you've heard the expression a one-horse town, perhaps, meaning it's a very, very small town with very little going on. Well, while that's true here, it certainly doesn't apply, because there are probably as many horses in this area as there are people. And that is because of the heavy Amish population who still use horse and buggy or draft horses for their agricultural purposes. And this has now become a bit of a tourist attraction. So we're going to take you into town. We're going to show you a little bit about that. Now, Intercourse was founded here in Pennsylvania in 1754 as the town of Cross Keys, which was the name of a local tavern that was built here in that era. It was later changed in 1814 to Intercourse. Now, people have often wondered and speculated about why the suggestive name, but the fact of the matter is that our language is a dynamic language. It's growing, it's changing because of cultural things. And the fact of the matter is that intercourse in the early part of in the 1800s was not automatically indicative of sexual intercourse. It did not automatically mean coitus. Intercourse was the interaction between people. It's the same root as the word discourse. So the fact of the matter is that at this time this was a community that was very interested in the interaction between the people, a very tight bound community sort of feeling. It was only with the passage of time that intercourse became kind of a name that made people giggle when they heard it as the name of a town. So that's probably the best explanation about why Intercourse is named what it is. At the time, it seemed like a very good, solid, legitimate name, and with the passage of time, it sort of became known as something else. Our language grows like that, and then things from a long time ago tend to lose their meaning or the meaning changes. Now, I've said earlier that Intercourse is largely, their economy is based on agriculture, because all of the surrounding area for miles around are these huge fields and a lot of crops grown. There's a few cattle, but mostly it's crop area, and largely it's corn. But here in the town, if you will, of Intercourse, it has become a huge tourist industry. People coming from all the major cities in the local area to see this small town Americana, all these very old brick homes and these cute, quaint little shops, and the town has capitalized on that by building a lot of individual businesses. So this particular collection you might think of as sort of like a mall. The Kitchen Kettle Village is actually a collection of shops, of about 40 shops in fact, that are all clustered one next to the other, that sell all sorts of trinkets and things that would appeal to tourists. There's quilt shops, and there's a cigar shop, and there's all kinds of little knickknacks and everything, little keepsakes. There's not a lot of real practical gear. You're not going to buy farm equipment or a lot of hardware here. This is a place for tourists to come and buy quaint things, candles, all those sorts of things, candle holders and decorations of every kind you can imagine. And as you might suspect, because of that Intercourse, their heaviest traffic time in terms of visitors is in the fall, which is where we are now. We're right at the beginning of their very heaviest season, which is through September, October, and probably even into November, when people are feeling very festive and coming to get decorations and things for the fall holidays or even the Christmas holidays. There's a lot of Christmas knickknacks and ornaments and things here. And so while they're very busy throughout the summer months and even in the spring, not so much in the winter, this is going to be the very heaviest time. Now, the reason I'm not standing in a crowd right now is because it is Sunday morning. And again, this is a very, very heavily influenced community by the Amish culture. Most everybody here takes Sunday off. There are very, very few things open in Intercourse on Sunday. The town essentially shuts down for Sunday. So we've got an opportunity to have a little bit of swinging room. We were here yesterday on Saturday, and I want to tell you that it was absolutely packed. There was very, very little parking. Everybody was very excited coming in and doing their shopping. And they come from as far away, I think, as New York City. We came up from Washington, D.C., which is about 2.5 hours away. People are coming from Lancaster and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia. So in their local region, I suppose you would call it, for their base of their customers, you're looking at, 10, 12, 14 million people in this region that are all aware of this and come here to celebrate the fall holidays. Now, I'm not going to be able to take you around and show you all the 40 shops, but I did want you to be aware, if you come here on a Sunday, nothing's open, folks. It is closed up. It's still a very beautiful place to come and visit and see all the beautiful historic homes, but there's not much open. I don't even know that there's a grocery store in this town, and if there is, it certainly isn't open today. Now, the one exception to that is the Intercourse Canning Company, which we're going to try and get up and show you a little bit of. I don't know if I can film indoors or not, but it is open for a few hours from 10 to 4 on Sunday, so we're going to get up and show you that. But across the street here, even, there is a establishment which is a coffee shop. Really nicely decorated, very quaint in that Pennsylvania Dutch, as we call it, sort of style. But again, closed up on Sunday, so I can't even get a cup of coffee this morning. But just it is a beautiful place to come and visit, and there are a lot of very cool things to buy if you enjoy those sorts of things. We're going to take a look back here. There's actually a Conestoga wagon that they've got with some fall sorts of vegetables in front of. So this is the small replica Conestoga wagon I was talking about. They've got some fall vegetables out here, some pumpkins and some squash and some gourds. Pretty cool stuff. And this is all part of a little play area for children. When their parents come here and they visit all the shops, there's a place to keep the children entertained. And we're going to swing around here, and we have to keep the shotgun mic pointed at me because my lavalier microphone isn't working. And this is a kids' workshop, and it's built into a little octagonal gazebo. The Make a Friend workshop. I thought that was kind of cute. So when kids come here for the day and they're staying over here, they can make friends from all around this part of the country who are coming here to visit. Now, I didn't realize this when I walked over here, but there actually are some llamas just inside of the gate. So there's a small petting zoo. We're going to walk over there and show you that. They're munching away and very curious, like, what are you? They don't seem to really care too much about my presence. Full-grown adult, as far as I can tell. Beautiful animal. And they got a buddy. There's another one over here, just laying in the sun and enjoying the day, because it is a beautiful day today. So something a little bit different for the kids to see when they come here to Kitchen Kettle Village while their parents are occupied, and they can pet the animals. And you can notice they're very low fences for the children. There's also this barn here, and there's some more animals in here. And again, this is just an open park right now. There are some sheep in here. Big sheep. And obviously very used to being petted by human beings. They seem perfectly content with that. And in the same facility with the sheep, there is a burro, or donkey, I'm sure there's probably a difference between those species, but I don't know exactly what it is. And also on our tour we have a very friendly miniature horse or pony, depending on what you choose to call it. And he's trying to tell me that there's nothing in his bowl and he's hungry. But I'm sure buddy, I'm sure somebody, whoever's in charge of this, will be along to feed you here soon. And our donkey's coming out because he's wondering, he hears that noise and he knows that means, hey, I want food. Says don't feed fingers to the animals, so I'll try not to. It's a very pleasant place, especially on a Sunday when there's nobody here. I can come up and I can see all the animals, and I get to play with all the animals, and I don't have to share with anybody. This guy's a little more shy. He doesn't want me touching him. There's also some chickens down here. These appear to be New Hampshire Reds. It's the sort of chickens that Beverly and I used to raise. Nice big healthy birds. There's some goats here just sort of lazing around. We've got a couple of more small goats over on this side that are just kind of relaxing. These seem to be young goats. Not full-grown adults yet. Also very used to being touched, but I think more interested in being fed this Sunday morning than anything else. And of course there's a little picnic area and a playground. Now the sign does say children must have adult supervision, so it's not like you can just dump your kids off here and go shopping, I guess. But it is a nice place for the children to come and get to experience, be around some of the animals, and maybe learn something in the process. They can play and burn off some of the energy before Mom and Dad got to put them back in the car and drive back home. So I'm not going to take the time, nor would you probably want me, to show you all 40 of the shops here in the Kitchen Kettle Village. But you'll notice in the background here, they're all styled and themed with this very sort of old-fashioned, sort of country effect, the sort of thing that brings out the nostalgic feelings in all of us, especially around the fall holidays. And you're going to see that throughout this town, that everything's been architecturally styled with that sort of country feel and sort of an old country feel. And so that is what you're going to see no matter where you go. Obviously it's very predominant here in Kitchen Kettle Village, but we're right here on the edge of the country. You go straight from the town into open rural area just in a heartbeat, and so that is why you're going to see a lot of that sort of style and why it appeals to everybody. It gives us that sense of nostalgia and that sense of peace in a small town community, and that's something we all really look forward to here in the United States, I think, especially during the fall and early winter holidays. So I'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Real United States in Intercourse, Pennsylvania. I hope you've had a good time. I hope you've had a little chuckle. I hope you've learned a few things, and I hope you become interested in the possibilities maybe of even coming here to visit. If you've got questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. I love hearing from all of you. If you haven't already, we encourage you to pick subscribe and join us for future episodes. Come along for the adventure. And as always, thank you for watching.